So let's kick it off with our first presentation this morning. Many of you will know the Clean Growth Hub plays a unique convener role in the system. They are navigators, here to help you find and understand the federal programs and services that are right for you. With that, I'd like to welcome Jill Arnold and Monica Knowles from the Clean Growth Hub.
Oh, there we go. Great, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're happy to be here. My name's Jill Arnold, and I'm here with Monica Knowles, and we're from the Clean Growth Hub. So we're happy to be here with a lot of our federal partners, funding partners. I have to say right off the bat that we are not a funding organization. However, we do work with funding organizations, and we help clean tech innovators navigate the federal system. So over the next 15 minutes, we'll talk about the Clean Growth Hub and how we can help you. We'll provide an overview of who we are and how we work with clean tech stakeholders, and we will highlight some of the programs and federal supports available. Throughout this presentation, I will be referring to the Clean Growth Hub as the Hub. So what is the Clean Growth Hub? So we launched in 2018 as the federal focal point for clean technology. We act as the Government of Canada's coordinating center for federal clean tech activities and a one-stop shop for information about funding and services to clean tech initiatives. Specifically, we have three main objectives: help clean tech innovators and adopters navigate the federal programs, enhance program coordination, and track federal investment in clean tech. So how do we meet these objectives? We provide information and advice about federal financial and non-financial supports available. While the majority of our clients contact us for information on federal funding opportunities, we also help with access to expertise in regulatory policy issues as well as export information. In fact, last year we recommended over 100 different programs to our clients. We also enhance program coordination amongst federal departments and agencies. We bring together our partners regularly and share information on programs and initiatives in the clean tech sector. We also track clean tech programs and policy outcomes through the Clean Technology Data Strategy. We work with our partners to collect information and data, some of which is available on our website. To date, we have served over 2,500 clients, including businesses, not-for-profit, academic institutions, and municipalities. So the Hub is unique in government because it is led by two departments: Natural Resources Canada, NRCan, and Innovation and Science Economic Development Canada, ISED. The Hub is a whole-of-government initiative that brings together many different federal departments and agencies that support clean tech development and deployment. We have an interdepartmental team made up of representatives from 17 organizations. Many areas of government touch on clean tech, and the relationship with our partners helps the team provide up-to-date, tailored information to clients. Each department and agency has a designated Hub representative providing access to knowledge of programs, policies, and networks for their organization. We also work beyond these partners to offer the most comprehensive client service. Even if a department is not on this list, we will reach out to them if it's relevant to our clients. So how can we help? We help our clients connect with the supports they need for their clean tech initiatives. Our clients range from early innovators to large adopters. Most organizations who contact us are small and medium enterprises, but our offering is not limited to just companies. We also support municipalities, community organizations, not-for-profit organizations, and for-profit associations. As long as they are players in the clean tech ecosystem, we can potentially help. We work with clients to advance solutions across subsectors at all stages of the innovation continuum. After financial support, the most common reason clients contact us include looking for information on government programs, seeking support on export activities, and questions about regulatory policy and procurement. I'll now pass it over to Monica, who will highlight how our services work and some examples of available programs.
Thanks, Jill. It's a good thing we're the same height. I don't have to adjust the mic. So yes, oh wait, I need to figure this out. There we go. So as Jill mentioned, the most common reason that we speak with many of you is to help navigate through the federal funding to support your clean tech project. As you know, many federal programs, there's some who have continuous funding and they're open all the time for applications. There are some who are open and closed for only short amounts of time, for a short window of application. And so that's kind of where we come to play, and why it's beneficial for you to connect with the hub. It helps you kind of stay abreast of some of these programs and everything that you would need to know for your project. So if you want to actually access the Hub's advisory service, we tend to say that companies and organizations that would most benefit from our services, they have a project that is program ready. And there's a little bit of guidance, like light guidance at the bottom about what program ready means. You have a partial funding gap, you need help navigating through the funding programs, and even sometimes other services like lab support and regulatory information. And you've also gotten past the initial studies and knowledge studies and gaps for your specific project. But essentially what program ready means is that if a program were to open, you're ready to submit an application. You have an idea, you know what you need to do, you have some partners, and you are ready to submit an application. You might just need to adjust it a little bit for that specific program. However, there is a lot of other information that we do have that we can support you with for your specific project. I've got so many notes, but I'm just going to keep it short today. So I am going to highlight a couple quick federal funding programs that are out there and other opportunities as well. And some of these you will already recognize. So one of the main funding mechanisms are grants and contributions. And so this often comes through funding programs, sometimes competitive processes, where the funding is allocated based on milestones or timelines or whatever the project schedule may be. And these can become repayable and non-repayable contribution agreements or grants. And if you don't know what any of those words mean, that is absolutely okay. This is exactly what the Clean Growth Hub does. We connect with you to help you understand some of those federal terms that we love so much. And some of these federal programs you've heard of before, and our colleagues will be speaking to them as well. So I won't be going into too much detail of this. But we have Strategic Innovation Fund, SDTC, Clean Fuels Fund, IRAP, EIP, CERRC. If anything, I'll help you navigate through all of those acronyms because we love our acronyms. One program that I'll highlight is the Energy Innovation Program because I know the colleagues are not here. So Energy Innovation Program is a type of program where they have continuous funding, but what they do is they do targeted calls for proposals. So currently, they have a series of targeted calls for proposals that will be coming up for CCUS, for carbon capture, utilization, and storage. They've already actually done 2 of those funding calls for a FEED study and I believe the capture side. And then they will have 2 additional calls coming up for storage and transportation and for utilization. And so these tend to support projects that are at the RD&D stage. It's a competitive process and it is open for only a short period. But after the CCUS call, they will have another targeted area that they will be focusing on. Keeping on top of that kind of information can get really tricky, and so that's really where the Clean Growth Hub kind of comes to play. But beyond grants and contributions, there's also wage subsidies. There's wage subsidies that exist out there that can help support the growth of your business, and this is actually something that is often overlooked, but it can really help cover the overall operations of your business. So I've highlighted a couple here, but one, for example, is the Science and Technology Internship Program, which is Green Jobs. And so they support wage subsidies for full-time employment, and I believe it's minimum of 30 hours per week is full-time, and up to 12 months in duration for up to $32,000 to cover 80% of an intern salary. I mean, that can be huge for an organization. And then we also have other loans and other mechanisms that exist out there that are offered through the Business Development Bank of Canada and Export Development Canada. Again, so many acronyms will help guide you through it all. But they can provide fully repayable, partially repayable, and forgivable loans. And I know often some businesses try to stay away from loans, but it can really help kickstart your organization and kickstart your specific needs. You can receive dilutive, equity, and non-dilutive financing options. You can find out more from their respective websites and through connecting with their advisors. One of the things at the Hub is that sometimes you might connect with me, and I might not be an expert in a certain area, but because we do have the 17 federal departments and agencies who are part of the Hub, we can help guide you to the right individuals who will help guide you through some of these programs. But there's a number of programs that exist, including Futurepreneur, up to $60,000 in financing through collateral-free loans. And also tax incentives, and these tax incentives keep growing and growing. Every time I look, there's a new tax incentive that is coming. Again, another area that is not my expertise. I can definitely connect you to the right people, but this is definitely something to take into consideration. You can use it as a tax write-off, and it doesn't provide you with the upfront funding that many companies are often looking for. But this is something you should not overlook. There are experts who I can send you to who will help guide you through what you would actually need to do for these credits or tax write-offs. One that is quite popular is the Scientific Research and Experimental Development Tax Incentive, SR&ED. Again, mouthful to say. And these are for expenditures related to basic research, applied research, and experimental development. And they do have a team who can connect with you to help identify what you would actually need to be able to submit these tax credits. All right, I've been talking a lot about all the different programs, and that is just a small, tiny snapshot of what actually exists out there. And again, these programs, they do come and go. Sometimes they're available, sometimes they're not, but this is exactly what my job is, to help you understand what is available and when it is available. So when you do connect with the Clean Growth Hub, you are part of the Clean Growth Hub you're a Hub client for life. You might like it or not, doesn't matter, you're part of us. And so what we do is we try to make sure that you can stay connected with all of these programs as they come and go. So if you are looking to connect with us, there is a service request form that we have online on our website. It's under the advisory services page, and it's not an application, so you won't get rejected. It's not an application, and it just really gives us the baseline data that we need to help understand what you would need, so that if, for example, you are looking for tax incentives, you're not going to be talking to me because I'm not there. I'm not a great person for that. But you can, it gives us the information so that we can come prepared, to provide you with the right guidance and advice. The form, and so this form is actually also only for new clients. So if you have been a Clean Growth Hub client in the past, you're welcome to reach out to us at any time if you feel like you are ready to reconnect. But for those who are new, this form gives us a little bit of information about your organization's clean tech goals, a brief description of your project, information on the technology, total project cost, and so on. And so once we receive this, we go through it with our team, and then we try to bring together the recommendations. Back to you, Jill.
Thank you, Monica. Well, before we wrap up this morning, I just wanted to highlight some positive impacts our clients realize when working with the Hub. So because we are a service, we do solicit feedback and satisfaction rates from our clients, and we've heard positive feedback. 71% of clients indicate that the Hub helped them realize benefits, and 75% agreed that the Hub facilitated connections with government. We've also heard that the Hub offers benefits beyond finding funding opportunities, which include improved knowledge of government programs, saved time, and enabled access to information. So our website provides online resources for federal funding and other government support. We maintain a list of clean tech specific funding opportunities which can save companies time from searching through multiple websites. It features resources and tools such as a toolkit on applying for federal funding programs and our technology readiness level, or TRL, assessment tool. It's updated on a weekly basis to highlight Government of Canada news, funding, and procurement opportunities, public consultation, and even event announcements. I also want to just draw your attention to the newsletter. We issue a newsletter quarterly to keep subscribers up to date on clean tech programs within the federal government. The next issue will be published in a couple of weeks, and if you haven't already subscribed, I recommend you do that. And that's all for our presentation this morning. Thank you very much. I hope this provided you an overview of our services. Monica and I will be here for the rest of the day, so looking forward to chatting more with you this afternoon. Thank you.